Hi everyone, welcome back to a brand new YouTube video, and in today's video, we are super excited to be diving deep into talking about social responsibility in your cleaning business, talking about pricing, invoicing, and all of the details that everyone needs to know. Today we are joined by Miss Anna Vieira, one of our most requested special guests. Hi Anna, how are you?
Good. How are you, David? How was your Thanksgiving?
It was good. It was good. I wish it didn't end so fast. I mean, I feel like this whole year has gone by fast, hasn't it?
Yes, I mean, next week is my birthday, and I'm like, oh my gosh, already gonna be 51. No.
Well, happy early birthday.
Thank you.
I know we're gonna be celebrating soon. We're gonna find the time to do that. But yeah, so we're gonna talk about today. We're gonna dive into social responsibility of our cleaning business, pricing and invoicing. So yeah, let's get
So,
into it.
so the first thing that I want to talk about is social responsibility, right? No, a lot of business implemented social responsibility. It is something that, and an idea or a mission that you want to be part of your business, and you can work with that organization to help them out and also get clients, right? For example, you can work in your business with adoptions for dogs or a senior facilities or places that you can give donation. More you put your name out there, more you're gonna make money, right? And more people gonna know about your business. It is very important as a business owner, not only cleaning business, any other business, be involved in your community. And when you think the least, right? Your name is out there, right? So it is very important. So when I had my business, I like always to work with children. I always donate toys. I made sure that at the end of the year, is school supplies, right? You go to schools, middle schools, they're always looking for supplies. You can get a list, right? And you can donate. You also can donate for food banks, food pantry. In your community, there are businesses, there are organizations that need your help, right? We are
Mhm.
about to make money, but we also need to serve, right? And we have to make sure that when we serve with a purpose, and also the name of our business is going to be there, right? I have my godson in a karate class, and like every year it is like supplies for the school, Thanksgiving food pantry, and they go collect from the members that go there, or they buy and then they take to the organizations in need. Let's be proactive in our community. More we serve, more we help, and more business we're gonna get.
I absolutely agree with all that. Something else that we do, we also we have donated to the local high school over here near us, and we became a sponsor for the athletics. We've done that one of the years. So there's many
Yeah, I
different
remember that.
yeah, there's many different ways that you can get involved. That's for sure. But everything that you just mentioned, is great. So yeah, definitely get involved, and just definitely keep in the back of your head, like, just because you're not cleaning at the moment, like, just think in the back of your head that every interaction and everything that you do in your community will, directly affect your company, right? People will recognize, oh, I remember you. You donated to the pinch, or just like anything that you do in your community, it will follow you. So just keep that in the back of your head, the
Yeah, like,
good and the bad.
yes, and you can, use your social media, TikTok, and you even can, collaborate with influencer that, can help you with your business and also advocate for your social responsibility or for the organization that you wanted to help. So it's very important to be active on that aspect. Now, I want to talk about pricing, right? So many people, we have a lot of questions about how we gonna price and blah 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 blah. So there are different ways that you're gonna approach this subject of invoices, right? As a cleaning company, depend of your target market, you need to know your price. The first thing that you need to know that you have to have a minimal charge. When I say about minimal charge, it is the minimum amount of money that is going to be worth it for you to open your eyelids in the morning and go to work, right? So it's not because you're starting a business, you're going to be like, somebody want a cleaning for $1950 and you go. No, you have to understand that every project that you have in your business needs to cover your expenses, your overhead cost, and you have to make a profit. You can't, you know, not charge enough, undercharge one project and then trying to make it up to other projects because you're gonna overcharge your other clients. So for me, when I had my business, uh, my minimal charge was $100. But depend what kind of work is $100. If they go tell me, oh, I just wanna you come over here, and clean the main entrance of my house, is gonna be $100. Why? You have expenses. That job, is gonna cost you money. It's gonna cost time for your employees. It's gonna cost your insurance. It's gonna cost your supplies, right? So you have to have a minimum charge. Nowadays, I would be like $150 to $170, depending of the location. That is your minimum charge. Okay. Second of all, while you're gonna charge, I don't like people go and charge by square footage. Me, I have to go personally in the location and see what needs to be done, right? For example, sometimes somebody can come to you, oh, come and clean my studio. Oh, it is just one bedroom, kitchen, and bathroom. And you go over there, you're about to have a heart attack. That person never cleaned. You have to organize everything before you clean. You're gonna have to charge for that, right? You cannot be like $200 and say no. Minimum over here is about $400 or more, right? But somebody can hire you to clean a single family home for 4,000 square footage and only want you to clean the bathrooms, right? So you have to go over there and you have to look at it, right? In order to give you a price. And always in your cleaning, when you're giving a price, you have to educate your client. Sometimes,
Absolutely.
sometimes what they want cannot be done with something else. I'm gonna give you an example. I had a client in the past that every single time she didn't want us to clean the whole house. Was main bathroom, kitchen, and the basement. But every time that my crew came there, everything was all over the place. Trash everywhere, clothing everywhere. So that is not only cleaning, but it's also organizing, right? You have to let them know, look, we cannot come over here and give you a prize and then we have to do this extra job in order to do our job. You have to charge. Remember, every cleaning is start from the bottom to up to the bottom, right? You see what is up, and is the lights. It is the corners with the cobweb, and then you go to the middle. What is in the middle that you have to look at it? You have to dust everything. Up there also you can see the vents that you need to clean, right? And then you go to a floor. You have what? The baseboards. You have the floor. That's how you look in your price. And you give out your recommendations to a client. Sometimes you're like, no, you just clean this. I said, no, we have to clean this in order to achieve this, right? And
Absolutely.
also, you have to suggest to your client, right? And let them up front. For those that do residential cleaning, many times we all know that when you do one time cleaning, you can charge a little bit more because you're going there only one time, right? Then, if the person wants 2 times a month, you can lower a little bit of the price, but you have to make sure that you have a contract, right? Because many of them, they want they want a lower price. They're gonna tell you you can come over here every week, and then they keep canceling on you, and then your staff only clean once a month for $100, just an example, but they did a cleaning for $400. Make sure that you have a contract. It's the same thing when you come to the commercial. You come to the commercial, it is not about the square footage. You need to go there and see it. Sometimes, even a commercial on a residential, you have to do a first time deep cleaning. If they want you to go there like every week or every month, and you have to charge a little bit more, and then you go back to your lower price, right? You cannot overcharge your people, your clients, but you have to be fair because you have to make money and you have to pay the people that work for you as well,
And it's
right?
so funny that you said all that because so many of the times some of these clients they just are nickel and diming everything and they want the cheapest thing possible. And it really goes back to what you said earlier. You really have to know what your minimum is, right? And to know what your minimum is, you need to know what goes behind the minimum. So your payroll taxes, your insurance, your supplies, your gas. You need to have all of that incorporated in your quote unquote minimum cleaning. So many people I think just pick a number and they don't really know what backs it up, but you really need to know your numbers. And once you know your numbers, you're going to be good to go, right? Like we have our minimums. We for our deep cleans, our regular cleans, our daily Monday through Friday office cleans, we have all of that internally. Like, you know, how dirty is the place? And another thing to think of is some of the minimums, the minimums need to be your minimums, right? Like you can't just change it around for someone just because they tell you it's cleaner, right? Like Anna was saying, you've got to go when somebody calls your office or submits a submission form, you've got to go out, take a look, see exactly what they want because no client is the same. Every single client that we have over 150 reoccurring clients here at Dave's Cleaning Consultants. I'm going to tell you, every single one of those clients is different. Yes, it's the basic trash, bathroom, vacuum, mop, all that good stuff. But then you got some clients that want the baseboard scrubbed. You've got some clients that want high dusting. You've got some clients that want the windows done. Every one of our clients is different, and that is where you need to go meet with them, build a relationship. Build a relationship. Yep, I said it.
You
That's the
know.
biggest thing. And figure out what they want done, okay? So,
Another thing that you said over there too, like a lot of times, sometimes they want you to, in a commercial aspect, they want you to supply the paper towels, the toilet papers, and you have to make sure that you include that in the price.
absolutely. I personally try staying away from that just because it's a huge hassle for us. We don't really have a huge volume of supplying paper towel and toilet paper and soap, but we do have some clients that have us do that, which it's not a problem. It's something we do offer, but it's just not a huge thing for our business. I know some cleaning businesses that make a ton off of that. Obviously, you definitely need to mark it up. I recommend people are going to be asking the comments, which I've seen a few comments. How do you mark it up? How do you know how much to charge? Blah blah blah. I would recommend getting with your local supplier, janitorial supplier, and see how much they can sell it to you for, and then you need to mark it up to your whatever your goal is or what. Yeah, but I
What
think.
I,
Go
one of
ahead.
the one of the things that I think about supplies, right? What I did, when I bring the supplies, I always charge 10%, an
Yeah, I think
additional.
that's what I thought that it was, but I wasn't 100% sure.
It's a
But
ten percent.
we personally, we don't do a percentage. I think ours is like a fee. I don't have it in front of me right now, but we have like a fee that we charge for, because you got to think, not only are you buying it, you've got to arrange everything. You've got to make sure for the bigger offices, you've got to make sure they never run low. So that might be entail paying an additional person, your quality control manager might be there longer, going through every cleaning closet, making sure, okay, there's 10 bathrooms in this facility. There's this many rolls. How many do we need? Because some of these bigger facilities want you to do all of that. And you've got to know. You've got to know how much toilet paper, because you can't run low. You cannot run low. So it becomes
Yeah, I had
very involved.
yeah, I had somebody and when I had my business that, every time that was low, she would let me know and I would go and tell the people there, we run low. Or if we had to buy, I always charge, a 10%. I always used to charge a 10% additional on the prices of the supplies because you have to go there. Sometimes they have to deliver that to you and that cost. So I always have an additional time percentage of 10% that you have to include as well. And then when you see clients complain about the price, right? You have to understand, then you have to educate them. Look, we are a company, right? We are a legit company. We are registered with the state of whatever, Maryland, whatever, DC, whatever you are. We have insurances, we have bonds, we have workers' comp. You know, we have to buy supply, we have to pay taxes, employment taxes, and now those things cost, right? And we have to make a profit on that, right? And just make sure that you justify your price not only with your overhead costs, your expenses, but also with the quality of the services that you're offering, right? That is going to set you apart from any other business out there, right? So, uh, again, you have to go, you have to look what needs to be done, okay? As David said, we live in an era that everybody now want to talk to, AI or, somebody in another country. You know what's going to set you the difference between you and another business? You give a damn. That means you go there, show up, say, I'm the owner, let me see what you need, and you talk to them as a person. That's going to make the difference between you and another business, right? Because you're showing up over there and that shows that you care. So your prices you have to have a minimal price for you to open your eyelids in the morning, right? That's okay to say
Mhm.
no, okay? That's okay to say
Absolutely.
no, okay? There are some people that you can say no. There are some business that you can afford say yes in the beginning and then they're going to give you more business. You have to do your research, okay? But please, every time that you undercharge a project, somebody's gonna pay the price. Usually it is the people that was working for you because you're not gonna pay them enough, and then they're not gonna give the quality of the work that needs to be due. Okay? Think about that. You know, cleaning is a necessity, but meantime, when you talk about residential, it is it is not is a privilege, right? Or you have the money, you don't have the money. But you cannot just go lower your price unless you're doing yourself and you don't have any overhead cost. That's, on you. But if you have a business, you need to make sure that you charge normally. For example, for me, a normally residential house, a townhouse, okay, 200, $250. If you want a deep cleaning, $300. Right? A single family house, $350, right? And then you can go from there, or could be a little bit less, or could be a little bit more. So depends what they are requesting. Remember, if you're in a residential, if you have to organize a place to clean a place, you need to charge more. Sometimes when you walk people's house, they have everything everywhere. You have to charge for that, right? And the commercial side, right? If they are providing you the supplies, good. Your price is going to be a little bit low. You need to know how, and also you need to let them know if you don't want to every day, you know, You have one only 2 times a week. For the number of the people that you have over here, this is our, recommendations. You need to educate your people, your
I
client.
want to add something to that. I really like that you said that because you don't know how many times where I go into estimates and they literally don't understand what they're paying for. They don't. They think that they're just paying for the cleaning lady to come into their office and take the trash, vacuum, and mop, right? They don't understand what actually goes into it. They don't. So many of the clients, I mean, I just met with a client, what's today? Tuesday, Wednesday. Today's Wednesday. Sorry, this week's been one of those weeks. I went to an estimate on Monday. They're using one of the national chains. I met with them, and they're telling me everything they're not happy with. And I explained to the woman. I said, "Okay, well, tell me this." I said, Mariah, I said, tell me how much you're currently paying, if you don't mind me asking. And they told me, they said they're paying $70 a night, Monday through Friday. And I said, well, there you go. I said, how is a legitimate cleaning company charging $70 a night for a 10,000 square foot office space to remove the trash, vacuum, mop, clean the bathroom? It's not possible, right? And I explained to them, I said to her, I said, listen, would you clean this entire office for $70? And she said no. And I said to her, well, there you go. There's your answer. I said, no one, especially a company, is not cleaning your office for $70 thoroughly for $70. You have so many factors when you have a cleaning company, a professional company to come and play. Like I said earlier, your payroll tax, insurance, supplies, and you still got to make a profit. So, how much do you think the cleaner that's actually cleaning that building is actually making? It's really sad in our industry. I hate to see it, but I see it every day when I go out to estimates. I see it every single day. Um, and people love to complain, but they don't like to pay more. And like Anna said earlier, it's fine to say no. Some of these deals are not meant to be. And I can tell you, we get tons of inquiries on a weekly basis, and some of them put their budgets in there, some of them don't. But before we go waste our time, we always call and make sure, they know our minimums, because we're not going to go waste our time. We're not going to go waste their time. Some of these people's minimums, like the girl told me the other day on Monday, $70. Like, you've got to know before you go out, because you don't want to waste your time. So it's okay to say no and pass on deals, even though, for example, that we turned down an office that was 5 minutes away from our office, that it was a Monday through Friday. On Monday, like I told you guys. Um, but she just didn't want to pay. So some deals are just not meant to be. You've got to make it make sense. You've got to make money. You're in business to make money, right? Obviously not to
Exactly.
take.
You have over there 10,000 square footage place. You need at least 3 people cleaning, right? And then hourly wage, it is like $17. Those people would be over there at least 2 hours each. Here we go, your $70 right there.
People don't understand. They really don't. It's like, and some of these clients, you got to put your technicians in the decision maker's shoes, right? A lot of these people, they have no idea. They're told by their executive or the manager, go find a cleaning service for our office. We need a clean, and they don't realize what really goes into it, because a lot of them are so clueless. And that's what Anna said earlier. You got to educate them, right? These clients, they need to be educated. A lot of them don't know what they're doing, and then some of them do, and some of them realize that their budget's just not doesn't align with your company, and and that's okay to walk away. So hopefully, I just wanted to add that, because you added some really good info, and I thought that would, you know good.
It is. And, I always tell people, you have to be fair with your prices. You can be too low, you cannot be too high, but your price has to justify the quality of your work and also your expenses, right? And that takes us to the next subject, that is the invoicing. Okay? Before we talk about invoices, in order for you to invoice, you need to have a system that you work with, that is our QuickBooks. A system that can invoice, that can do estimate, can help with your payroll, because this is gonna help you also with your expense of in your business. I'm gonna talk about more about um accounting on the next video. But for invoices, you need to find a how do you say, a software that you can work doing invoices and you can submit to your clients. Okay. First rule of invoices: you never let your clients pay the people that work for you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. No, the people that work for you should not know how much you make for housing. Okay. Period. And you don't want your people that work for you with cash around, because it is dangerous. And then they're gonna be in a situation, oh, they pay, oh, they didn't pay. No. Okay. You need to invoice your clients. They either can pay for Cash App, Venmo, Zelle, direct to your company, or you can provide them with your invoices and they can pay even using credit card and go straight to your company bank account. Because, for example, if you work with QuickBooks, you can join to your bank account with QuickBooks, and then when you send the invoice to your client, the client pay online, right? The money goes straight to your bank,
Oh, excuse
and
me.
then uh the QuickBooks already see that the invoice is paid, so you don't need to do double work on that. So make sure that the work that you do, you don't work with cash, and then they should not pay your staff. They should pay your company, right? If you do one job, this is the only job that you can do, you're gonna do for that person, right? And you're not gonna work anymore. Only that, please do not accept checks, okay? Do not accept checks, especially residential, okay? Because if they stop check, if it have something with the check, you're never gonna get paid, okay? You can give, they have to pay you right away. If that job, when a job is done, they need to pay you right away. Don't give them a month to pay. No, that's the last time that you're going to see them. They need to pay when you finish your work. Okay? The only time that you're going to give them 15 to 30 days net to pay, when it's commercial. When it's commercial, you can send them an invoice with the price when it is due, whatever it is, and then they can pay you electronically. Or if it's a company, they can send you a company check. Okay? A personal check is different than a company check. A company check, you can accept it. Okay? But if you send an invoice and give them the opportunity to pay that online, that is gonna save a lot of time, and you're gonna get the money in 2 days or 24 hours. Now, if you wanna somebody wanna pay in credit card, you need to let them know that they have to pay the fee of the credit card. That is about 3.9%. Okay? You need to let your client know about that. You're not paying the fee, the credit card fee. They have to pay. Okay? I had some few clients that like to pay credit card, but I told them you have to pay the fee. I'm not paying for the fee. And they're like,
Absolutely.
okay, we pay
And
the
that
fee.
And
Go ahead.
that's one of the biggest reasons, excuse me, that's one of the biggest reasons why our company only accepts paper checks. So, what you said earlier is great. Every company will vary company to company. For us, we are a commercial janitorial service, and we bill every 2 weeks. We do have some clients that have been with us for a long time, and they do pay us after 30 days of service. We have probably a handful of them that do that still, but 90% of our business and moving forward with any new business, they pay us every 2 weeks. It is your business. You can choose your payment terms. Just because you're in the commercial and janitorial side of things does not mean you have to wait 30 to 60 days or 90 days to get paid. If you don't want to work with those payment terms, then don't. Will you get turned down sometimes from companies. Yes, you will, but if you're willing to work with them, like for example, if I have a client that says, you know what, we really can't pay every 2 weeks. Well, I'm going to be willing to work with that client. If that's the only thing that's bothering them with our contract and they want to move forward, then I'm more than happy to work something out with them. But if they can't pay me by a paper check every 2 weeks or a paper check just, in 30 days, then it's not going to work. But to be honest with you, we don't get any pushback. I know some people are like, it's 2025, about to be 2026. Why can't you do electronic payment? Some people on YouTube have said that. And to be honest with you, I just don't feel like dealing with it. And I think that if something is working in your company, then you should keep it. So many people are quick to change things because everyone else around them is changing them. Why are you changing it? Don't change it. If it works for you, then keep it. I know many companies that do very well with paper check. I have a friend up the road that does. She's a franchise with a house cleaning company, and they only accept paper check. A corporate's pushing them to do ACH and everything else, but she doesn't want to do that, and she's not because it's her business, and she's still sticking with paper check. So it's your business. You can choose what you do with it. I hate to see so many cleaning companies getting taken advantage from their own clients. They're like, oh no, you have to wait 60 or 90 days. I don't know about you, but I'm not waiting that long. Like, that's not a good fit for us. Like, you know,
Mhm.
and another thing is some of the smaller cleaning companies that only have a couple accounts and a couple employees, they need the cash flow, right? So this is a great video for the people that are just kind of starting up and need the cash flow. Um, Bi-weekly payments is great because you always are having constant payment come in. And it's funny, I'll end with this about the invoicing. I have some clients that pay us every single time. They preferred us to mail in a paper check every week, or it's their preference. So really, you can do what you want. It's your business, and I really want to put that out there. I can't stress it enough.
Yes. Like for me, when I had my business, I had the QuickBooks, right? And some of my clients paid by paper check, but some of my clients pay electronically. You send with the invoice and it's connected to the bank account and they pay it and the money is there. One thing that I want to make sure to tell you folks, if you're starting a business, as soon as you got your client, you have to make sure that you have 6 months of business expenses saved on your bank account. What I'm trying to say it is, you need to know how much every month is your expenses monthly. Let's see, if your expenses is $1,000, you have to make sure that you have saved in your bank account $6,000, because if something goes south, you have that money to cover, right? So always leave 6 months on your business account. Okay. Now,
And Anna,
what I do,
I want to ask you
uh,
this. There's probably a lot of people on this video that are watching this, and they're just getting started and they're barely getting by and they just want to start the cleaning business. What would you recommend to them? Because some of them won't have 6 months. What would your recommendation be?
well, when I started my business, I didn't have a 6 months. I had like $250.
Yeah,
The good part for me was that I did everything on my own. Not the cleaning
that's the
part.
part.
Some of the cleaning I did, but like accounting, because I have an MBA, I did my accounting, I did my social media, I did my um Facebook page, my social media, I did my web page. I did everything on my own. I took the time to do that, right? I understand that a lot of times you don't have that. What you have to do, if you don't have the money in the beginning, you have to do the work by yourself. And you have to make sure that, for example, if you made $250 in cleaning today, you have to save at least $100, right? And the beginning is a little bit hard, but you have to try to find a way to save it. Another thing it is that you need to understand, that there are things that you can do, sources that you can do, that you can find help for free, right? You can sit down, take your own time to do your business card if you want to, right? There is a lot of resources out there today that you can use that you don't need to pay people to do it, but you have to take the time, you know, to educate yourself and to do it. But and the beginning is gonna be rough. For the first year is gonna be rough. But then when you get the first contract, you start saving it. You start saving it, and that's how you start being successful in the beginning. A lot of times people need to understand the success of any business is not gonna come in a few months. It's not gonna come in a year. Maybe it's gonna take 2 to 3 years, right? But I don't want to discourage people. I want to encourage people to keep fighting, right? And I understand that everything in life that is easy is not going to work out. When you put sacrifices on it, that's how we're going to work out. It's like Amazon. If you read the story of Amazon, they started from the garage, right? Or the story of Google, the same way, right? Another thing that we are talking about is we need to, when we open a business, we need to be realistic, right? Many people want to open a business, but oh, I want to have my own office. I want to rent an office. I want to this and this and this. And you have to ask yourself, what the hell are you doing that for? You can run your cleaning business from your home for a while without you have, the overhead cost of our office or anything else. You start from your home. Took a while for you, David, to have your own office.
Absolutely. Oh
You
yeah,
know what I mean?
absolutely.
So you have to work no harder but smarter in some aspect. Okay? You don't need to have a physical location. Many of the clients for cleaning business, they don't come to you. You have to go to
Right.
them.
Right.
You know what I mean? You have to go to them. You look at Amazon. Amazon now they have businesses, they have buildings everywhere. But the beginning, they used to ship the stuff from their own garage. Nobody went there. So you have to be strategic, right? You have to spend money whatever is worth. It is your cleaning supplies, your equipment, and your marketing at the beginning, right? Then when you start having clients, when you start having people working for you, yeah, you have to spend your money with a lawyer, and also with an accounting person, with your CPA, right? But yes, you have to make sure that you be smart, strategic, you know. You're not gonna have, a building, you know, for cleaning for your company. That is not realistic. Sometimes our dreams can be our worst enemy. you know, but you have
Absolutely.
to be realistic. There is nothing wrong. There is there is nothing wrong for you to start your business from your house, and you even can use that as a tax deduction on your taxes until you start growing. You have to be smart with the money. So just think
I
about that.
agree.
Uh,
I agree
another th-
100%.
Another thing it is a part of the invoices and the working, make sure that when you train your staff, you go in people's houses or people facilities, anything that they see wrong, they need to take pictures, they need to make sure that they notify you so you notify the client, right? This is part of that you don't be in a bad position out there when it comes to the clients. And sometimes you can offer other services working with different contractors as well, right? So it's all part of the invoices. Maintain a clean company, a clean open relationship. Now you're gonna find sometimes clients, they're very hard to deal with, right? Does not matter what you do, you know what I mean? Like you can, clean and put diamonds on the floor for them. They're gonna complain about something. you have to make sure that everything is documented. Everything. You have to make sure that the people that work for you, they let you know about everything. Because there are people that they just want to complain. And you have to be professional. Sometimes there is nothing that you can do about it, right? But you have to make sure that, oh, all the time, oh, your staff didn't clean this, or your staff forgot to take the trash. I had some clients in the back in the days that they didn't want to pay because they're like, you didn't clean it well. Look, you said that you clean. Look at the picture. This is all dirty. And you know what? I have the pictures to back it up. I said, we cleaned this, but when we left, there were people over here working. This is the pictures, but we cleaned, you know? So you have to be smarter. I'm not saying that every single time the client's going to be wrong, because sometimes we also can be in fault in somehow, but you have to make sure that you recognize the issue. You also recognize the pattern, because you're gonna see that the client is, oh my gosh, my nail broke. They're calling you. Oh my gosh, you left the broom in the middle of the hallway. They're calling you. Oh my gosh, I got my period. They're calling you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know,
Some of them are crazy, yes.
some of them you're gonna see, oh my gosh, they are just complaining for nothing that is nothing wrong. And it's gonna come a time that you're gonna find a client, they're over here bitching about it. And you know what you're gonna do is like, the contract's not work anymore. And you just want a peace of mind and you
Oh,
let them
no,
go.
absolutely. And I have, over the years, I have realized that, you know, you're not going to be able to make everyone happy. That's just kind of, as much as you want everything perfect, even your most perfect client might complain down the road, or something might happen. You have to learn how to deal with it. And with us cleaning such a large volume of accounts, obviously there's going to be complaints, right? No cleaning company is perfect. So if any cleaning company comes into your office and is like, "Oh, we're going to make your office absolutely perfect," it's not true, because no company, no one, even the most perfect companies, are not going to be perfect, right? And so when issues do come up, clients like to know, and they want to know how you're going to handle that, right? That's the biggest thing in business, especially our business, the cleaning industry. How are you going to deal with an issue when it arises? But I don't want to keep going on and on. I'm going to let Anna finish off the video. But thank you all so much for coming on, and I'm going to let Anna finish us off.
So I just want to share the experience that I had. And I had a client that
Absolutely.
was a residential, right? And one of part of the agreement that we had, she wanted us to clean her freezer and her fridge that she had, right?
Yeah.
And we went over there. We charged her, it's $100 more to do that and whatever. And then my my crew went over there and cleaned. And when they opened the freezer, you know what I mean, there were a lot of meat from 10 years ago, right? I told them, take a picture and disposal, right? Because 10 years ago, if you didn't eat the freaking meat in 10 years, you know, you're not gonna eat. And when she came home, I got a message from her. This woman, she called me all the names, the freaking book. You threw all my food in the garbage. I need your insurance. So I gave her the insurance. I let her do her thing. And then the insurance contacted me and I said, I have all the pictures, right? She contacted us to clean her fridge, to take out the bad food from there. And over here I have, all the pictures. She wanted $5,000 for that food. But because I have the pictures to prove, that save us, But she was a pain in the ass. So you have to be smart as business, in any aspect. I just want to finish it off that price is very important. Many times the job that we do, the companies, cleaning company, the cleanings they are underestimate, right? They people that just don't care about them. They think that we are in the bottom of the pole where we have not to make a lot of money. It is up to you as a business owner to make sure that you be smart, choosing your project and fighting for the money to pay your staff, for quality of work and as well to make a profit. Okay, you cannot be successful, in the misery. Not every business is a business for you. And you're going to learn that in the business. Sometimes the headache is not worth it. Okay. So make sure that you be smart with your minimal charge, and you go from there. Educate your clients the reason of your price, excess on the difference between you and other companies, and you're gonna be okay. All success in the world for you. And if you have any questions, just let us know below.
All right,
I give to
everyone.
you.
Well, thank you so much for, listening to this video. Make sure you leave in the comments what you guys want to see next. Me and Anna are going to be making another video very soon. Um, and we also have some special news that we'll be sharing very soon as well. So please stay ready for that. And again, leave any future videos you want to see in the comments. Thank you again, Anna, for coming on to another one of our videos. We're super excited, but we will be sharing that news very soon. So thank you, everyone. We'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.
Bye, people.